I'm Tiffany with Fabric Creations, and today I'm going to do a tutorial on the complete mask making. As you can see, the mask has the elastic for your ears, and I have put a wired ribbon in the top to conform around your nose. So this will show you how to make the mask from start to finish. Okay, the first thing I did was I made a mask template, and this shows that it's 9 inches long by 7 inches wide, and this has pleats, 3 on each side, and this is very helpful in doing all your prep work. So I've narrowed it down to prep work and sewing so that we can see how to do this more quickly and efficiently. This is the backing piece and this is the top piece. So take your pieces and fold them edge to edge so that you can cut both sides of your pleats at the same time. That way they'll be even going across. Now I've placed this on here, and I'm just going to cut a little notch in here for each pleat. If you can keep it lined up, I usually pin it down. Okay, now there's the pleats notched in, and you'll use this many times so it'll get kind of worn out. But anyway, then when you go to make your pleats, now this is the first step. I've already made my pleats in these. So this is going to be your first step. And you want to press the pleats towards the bottom of the mask. So make sure you get the bottom of the mask. The first pleat, you're just going to take and fold it on your cut line, your little mark, and fold it down. And I love to pin things because it helps us to keep everything straight. So fold it down. And then prep work is very important in making anything. When I do my quilting classes, I tell the ladies, if you cut, we have like a process. It's called MCSP. Measure, cut, sew, press. So measure, then cut out your fabric, sew it together, and press it. So if you're very meticulous in your prep work, then your sewing process is much neater, because I hate to get something completed and look at it and think, oh, I could have done a much better job on that. But if you prepare well, then your finished product should turn out much better. Okay, so I'm on my last one here, just showing you how to pin these in. Okay, now when you get this all done, you're going to attach your elastic to the top of the mask, and I have my elastic pieces cut to 7 inches. And this is 1/8 inch elastic. You can use 1/4 inch if that's what you have, but this is 8 inch. Okay, this is the top of my mask. I am going to place my elastic about 1/4 inch to 3/8 inch from the edge and pin it down so that you can have a seam right there. Then you take the piece and make sure it's flat as it goes around the side and pin it in here. And you're going to do that on both edges of the mask with your elastic. So flip it around, get your second piece, put it on there, leaving a little 1/4 inch on the edge there so you can sew. Now when I sew this elastic in, I'm going to be back stitching it pretty good so that it will be pulled on a lot, so you want it to stay inside the mask. Okay, so there's that. Now, if you are a quilter, you have probably heard the term chain piecing. So I have got some ready here to show you how, if you want to do an assembly line type process, that you can chain piece them. Now, the next step is to place these together. Well, no, the next step is to sew your elastic and your pleats in. So the way we do that is we just put it on the edge there. And then what I will do is I will sew my pleats in on the backing piece And then I'll be able to fold it together and match it up. You have to match it up the way so your pleats will be going down here and down here. So make sure that you get that right if you're going to chain piece it. Okay, I'm going to start here, and I'm going to back stitch on my elastic. Can you see this? Do you need to come over here? Okay, now I'm ready to sew in the elastic and pleats, and I'm going to back stitch real good over the elastic. That's important. And then I'm keeping about 1/4 of an inch seam here as I go through, taking out my pins. I go over the pleats. Okay, here's another piece of elastic, so I'm going to leave that pin in as long as I can till I get to that piece, and then I'm going to back stitch real good. Okay, now here's the backing piece for that mask, and I'm just going to continue sewing on. This is called chaining. I'm chaining all the pieces at the same time, and it's kind of like an assembly line. Keeps it going. Okay. Now here's the top of another mask that I've got ready here with the elastic. I'm just going to keep sewing. Back stitch over the elastic. Going over all the pleats here. Whoops, I ran over a pin. I don't like doing that, but that was oversight. Okay, here's the backing piece for the red mask. So we just continue on. Oh, these pins are pinned correctly. Yay. I'll take them out with my right hand. That makes it much easier. Okay, now there's that side of the pleats and elastic sewn in. Now all you have to do now is turn the whole thing around and go the other way, and sew the other end. I'm trying to hurry here, so I ran over my pins. Please don't run over your pins. I don't want you to break a needle in your face. Okay, back stitch elastic. Pins out. And you can see how doing all this at the same time kind of saves you some time. Very last one here. Back stitch. Okay, now after I get all of this sewn, I'm going to take all my mask over to the ironing board, and I'm going to iron down those pleats. So I'll do that off camera, and then when I come back, I'll show you how to put the front and the back of the mask together. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, here we have the two masks chain pieced with the pleats sewn in and the elastic sewn in. So I'm just going to cut these two apart here where our thread's connected. And now you can see that this mask, when we make sure your elastic is on the inside of the mask, flip the lining piece up. Okay, and here is where we're going to insert our wired ribbon. So just take a piece of wired ribbon, and depending on the width of your ribbon, I'm having to fold mine twice to fit in here. Now I do have another video on just inserting the wired ribbon. If you already know how to make your mask, you can just quickly watch that video of inserting the wired ribbon. Okay, now this goes at the top of the mask for your nose. So just pin this in here, and then we're going to stitch all the way around at the same time, leaving an opening at the bottom to turn the mask. And then our pleats, we want to try to match them up as best we can. If they don't line up perfectly, it's not the end of the world, because it is hard to line up the pleats. Okay, so what we're trying to do here is just pin this all in to where it's going to line up. when we get it sewn. Now I like to pin everything all the way around so I'll know. Now I'm going to stop about right here and right here on my sewing. So I'm going to put a pin to remind me so I don't sew up the hole. Okay, now we'll put this under the machine and we're ready to start. Okay, here we are sewing all the way around the edge of the mask, inserting the wired ribbon. And when you get to the corners, I like to back stitch a little bit because there's a lot of stress there with that elastic. So just back stitch on each corner. There's another piece of elastic, I can feel it, so back stitch there. Now we're going to sew up to this pin because this is where I'm leaving the opening to turn it. So I like to back stitch a little bit here too. Okay, now we've gone all the way around. Now I'm going to show you how I like to clip the corners because this is helpful when you're turning something to clip the corners. And clip right through that wired ribbon too. It's a little thick, but you want to be able to turn those corners. Okay, so there's everything clipped. Okay, now here's how you turn it. You just find your corner there, put your finger there and poke it through your hole. Find your other corner. The mask has been turned and the elastics are all showing here, so I'm just going to sew up the opening, and I like to go all the way across the bottom just to make it look neater. It keeps it from looking like you just sewing up a hole or something. So I like to go all the way across. Now I don't top stitch around the whole edge mainly because you have that wire at the top. So I just go across the bottom edge. Okay, so this is complete. Now if you would like a copy of the mask template, just leave me a comment that you would like it and I will screenshot a copy of the template. These pleats are 1-inch pleats, and I'll send you a copy of it if you would like one so you'll know the size of the mask template. And thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope you have success in making mini masks. Thank you very much.